Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having an awesome day so far. This is Seth Keeping It Real. I got my cup of coffee here and I'm really excited to do another video. And today we're going to talk about something very broad, but that a lot of people have asking questions about. And the question is, how do you make your money work for you? In other words, instead of just working for money, how do you take that money and turn it into something that generates you an income? And it has taken me years to understand and grasp these concepts, and I was just talking to some friends about how schools do not teach kids how to do this effectively. The way people are taught is always to get a job, work for someone, and continually doing that perpetually. But what about that money? What if you could take that money, put it into something that pays you back 10 years down the road? So I'm going to share 7 ways, these are not the only ways, but 7 ways that have been really helpful for me and that are very, very practical and doable. Now, some of these methods take a while to generate income, and some will generate income for you very quickly. But if there's anything in here of these 7 things I share, I hope it is helpful to you. Number 1, buy products with a high market demand and then sell those on eBay. Now, the way you do this is you find top-selling products on eBay, and you go and find a supplier who can either make that product or has the same one. And then you differentiate the product somehow. So for example, if it's a lanyard for keys, for example, you might sell a lot of people might be selling this style of lanyard and it's very popular, but you might sell an extra key ring with it, for example, or maybe a different color. And that's what I mean by differentiating. Something so that if you were on eBay and you're looking at a bunch of products as you're scrolling down, one of them stands out. In other words, you see a top seller, but then you see someone else selling something very similar, but it's different and of higher value. And to add on a key ring, oftentimes to add on a tiny product or accessory with the main product is very little cost to you, but the perception value to your potential buyer goes up dramatically. And that's how you differentiate. And so if you do this, you can actually generate income within a week or 2 on eBay and then take all the money and buy more and keep doing that until you slowly build up an empire. Second way is to buy products with high market demand and sell them on Amazon. So the same concept as eBay, except you're doing it on Amazon. Now, to find a high-selling product on Amazon is a little trickier than eBay, because on eBay you can filter down your list, and by clicking on sold on the left side, like after you do your search, you click on sold, it'll show you exactly what is sold and how many. And so it's very easy to understand the market on eBay. Amazon's a little trickier, and this is what I include in my training when I coach people, is I show you how to find a product that's selling very fast and very quickly. Now, the nice thing about this, because it's harder to discover, it eliminates some of the competitors. So what I do is I show people how to do that, something a lot of people don't know how to do, and it puts them ahead of the game, and they can generate a profit faster instead of taking all these risks, buying products and hoping they sell, and after 100, finally one of them does well. So on Amazon, the other nice thing about it is once you've found that niche, that market that's doing well, that product, and once you've differentiated it by different color, by adding on an accessory or something like that, then you can send it into Amazon FBA, which stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. The product literally goes into their warehouse and they ship it out each time someone buys. So you're not sitting there at home packing it up with, printing out the label, putting the label on the package, putting the product in the package, closing it up, taping it up, putting it in a box, calling USPS to have them come and get it. You don't have to do any of that. Amazon does all that for you. Just a few weeks ago I did a video and we calculated that it was literally almost 40 hours of work to process orders of several boxes I was sending to Amazon. But because I'm sending them to Amazon, they're going to process those orders for me. I don't have to do that. That means I can spend those 40 hours doing something else, whether it's spending time with my family or finding other products. So that is the second way you can make your money work for you. The third way is save up money. This takes longer because it's higher cost entry, but it is totally worth it. And then what is one of the most classic time-proven methods is save up money, buy a house or a condo or an apartment, and rent it out. What that does is that creates passive income. So now that it's being rented out, it's creating money that comes in. Now the nice thing about that is it gives you an opportunity, once you've proven that concept, now you can pay someone else to help clean and prepare it, which you're providing someone else with income, providing them with a job, but you're also creating passive income for you. That time it saves you is time you can now invest somewhere else. You see what I mean? The concept is use your money smart. Don't just do something that gets you money and then you have to do it again to get more money. You have to do that to get started, but once you start building up a savings, take that and use it in a way that helps other people. Let me log back in really quick because my computer just died. Okay, cool. So that's how you want to do it. You want to take your money and make sure it's working for you. Another way you can do this is, one more comment on the house, the real estate. A lot of people get nervous after 2008 because of the crash with the real estate, especially in California. A lot of people lost millions. Many of those people, had they kept those homes, today they would have found that they are back making money again and even more. If you stick with it for the long haul, you can actually weather a lot of market drops. That's the nice thing about passive income and real estate is across the board, it always eventually goes up. And even the guy who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad talks about buying a house as a liability, not an asset, which I agree with. But if you're renting it out, now it is definitely an asset. And even if for a year the market drops, if you stick with it, in 10 years, you'll have made far more than if you sold it and got out quickly. And that's why I'm a firm believer in sticking with it for the long haul. A fourth way you can make your money go to work for you is to create a training series on something you're an expert in and sell it online over and over again. One thing I love about people is everyone is unique. And I am convinced that everyone has knowledge in a certain area or niche or market to a degree that no one else has. Because no one else in the world has your exact experiences. That means there's certain things you know and that you understand far better than anyone else. And think very specifically here. Don't think broad. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're a coffee connoisseur and you love coffee. And you think, man, I could do training series on how to make a great cup of coffee. That's still too broad because what's going to happen is you're going to realize, you know what? There's probably 10,000 other people just in the United States alone who can do it better than me because they've been doing it for 20 years. True. What if your specialty, though, was coffee in a French press of a certain kind of aluminum? In other words, niche it down to something you really know well. It's almost weird, right? But it's weird enough that there are going to be people out there who are specifically looking for that. The nice thing about creating training materials is it's a lot of work up front, but it's a lot of money long term. In other words, you create several videos, you create several documents that train them on how to do it. Once you've created it, you're done. All you have to do now is advertise it. And it could just be starting with people you know who have an interest. You could end up spending some money on Facebook ads to get it out there. And you can limit how much money goes out per day in those ads to make sure you're getting a strong return on your investment. But once you've created it, you can sell it 10 million times. And the only thing you have to do is update it or tweak it based on new information or how the market has changed since you started. That's very passive income that can serve you years down the road. Again, it's not just working to get a paycheck. It's creating something, a lot of time I know, and time is money, but once it's made, if you get it out there, people will pay you because you have something that is valuable to them. That creates a very strong passive income. Here's a fifth way you can make your money go to work for you. Write an ebook or something on something that you're an expert in and sell it on Kindle or a similar app. This is very similar to the training idea. For some people, it's their life story and lessons they learned. Look, no one can compete with your life story because no one has had your life experiences. Again, people are unique. Everyone is different. Everyone has different abilities and different niches. Maybe you're a musician and you know really well how to play the classical guitar. And there's certain riffs, or I'm probably going to use the wrong word here because I'm not a guitarist. I used to have an acoustic guitar, and that was pretty much it. And I knew about 4 chords, and I'm really proud of those 4 chords that I know. But let's say you know a certain style of music on the classical guitar. And so you write a book on exactly how to play 4 amazing songs. See, that's very niche. You're not just saying how to play classical guitar. You're focusing on 4 songs that you and only you, or you and very few people in the world, know extremely well. See what I mean? The more you niche it down, the more you're going to stand out. Now, it's true. Fewer people are going to want to know those 4 songs. But the people who do are much more likely to buy. I mean, just imagine there's 1 million people and only 1,000 want to play those 4 songs, okay? Of those 1,000, they're probably going to buy at least half of them because they can't find anyone else who has a book that specific. If it's too broad, now you're competing with people who are already in this industry and may have more experience than you. The nice thing about an app like Kindle is, again, you make it once and then it sells for you. In other words, you don't have to fill up your garage with all these hard copy, books with physical pages and paper and ship them out. Nor do you have to pay a publisher and give them 90% of all your profits so to get your book out there, and you get this little piddly 10% or 7% royalty fee or royalty pay. What you do is you create a digital book, and that digital book can sell and keep selling, and no one ships anything. It is simply emailed out. Let me give you a 6th way you can make passive income. Start a YouTube series on a topic you know a lot about, and then monetize those videos that you create. Now, this is something that takes a long time to make money. For example, someone with 10,000 subscribers, on average, I know a few people with 10,000 subscribers, make around $750 a month profit. So just to kind of give you a reference point, you're going to need a lot of subscribers and videos to a point where it makes you a lot of money. But don't give up, and here's why. If it's something you love, it's going to be easy. It's going to be natural. People like to talk about something that they love and that they're good at. If you are consistently reaching out to the YouTube community and providing valuable content for them, people will subscribe. 10 years down the road, what started as 20 subscribers could easily be 30,000. That's a lot more money, and at some point, it could be enough money to live on. But the nice thing is, once you made the video, you don't have to do anything else with the video. It just keeps making money for you. I'll give you an example. So back when I was in the vape industry, and I was selling vapes to help people get off of regular cigarettes, I was trying to get them over to vape because it's much more safe, and I completely disagree with the government on this whole issue. I think they're using it to take taxes and money. I've researched it like crazy. It is far less dangerous to the lungs to inhale what people use in nebulizers since the 1950s than to inhale the tar, the carcinogens, and the disgusting products of what comes through burning tobacco. And I say this as one who used to smoke a pipe, so I do not look down on anyone who smokes. But I wanted to help people because it does cause lung cancer and other things. So I started this company, which by the way failed miserably. I can tell you that story as well, but it's a great learning point. And my son and I made one video, and the video was how to clean your CE4, what was it called? I'm trying to remember now, your atomizer. It's this little thing that goes on the end of the vape, and it causes the liquid, the propylene glycol, to turn into steam, basically, or to turn into a vapor, all right? And I noticed a lot of people kept asking, how do you do this? So we made this video. It was as cheesy as Swiss cheese. It was like the most, I'm embarrassed to watch it, all right? My eyes looked red. There was a puke green wall behind me. We used a dirty kitchen sink to show how to clean. It was a terrible video. Here's what's weird. That video has almost 40,000 views. If you just go and search on YouTube, how to clean CE4 atomizer, you will find it has a ton of views. Just 6 months ago, it had over 20,000. Now, what was it about the video that caused people to want to watch it? It met a need. A lot of people wanted to know. And so if I still owned that company and had the rights to that video, I would be making several hundred a month just because people were watching the video. See what I mean? Now, I made the video 3 years ago. So this gives you an idea of how YouTube is a great option if you're in it for the long haul, if you're patient. Again, find something that you love to do. Otherwise, you're going to be bored to death, and it's going to be really hard to make those videos. Okay, let me give you one more, a 7th way you can make your money work for you. That is, and this is going to be different, all right, but it has worked for many. Call up a bunch of businesses and ask them what is their greatest struggle, and then see if you can provide a solution. So find out what is something that they're really struggling with. There was one guy, he found an issue. He found several businesses kept saying the same thing. Well, we have an issue with this. It had something to do with their accounting. So he created a software program to fix that because he was a developer, a software developer. As a result, he built literally a multi-million-dollar empire as a result of fixing that one need. And he did this at a point in his life where he was extremely frustrated because he was trying to be an entrepreneur, trying to figure out how to do things on his own. He didn't want the regular 9-to-5 job, but he could not figure out a way. So he said, you know what? If it's true that a business is built on the concept of providing a solution to a need or a solution to a want, why don't I just ask them? And even though a lot of those businesses thought he was trying to sell something, when he was just investigating at first, and so they would just hang up on him or wouldn't talk to him, 1 out of 3 or 4 would actually talk to him and give him helpful information. He would just be honest. He would say, look, I'm a new entrepreneur. I'm trying to figure out what is it that businesses struggle with. Could you just tell me what's one thing you guys struggle with? I'm not even trying to sell you something. I just want to know. And so they'd say, sure, why not? I mean, if someone called me today and asked me that question, I'm not going to turn them down. Now, if it's a telemarketer trying to sell me something, I'll probably hang up or just put on speakerphone and, eat my dinner and make smacking out sounds and make fun of them. But if it's someone who's being sincere, why not? right? And it worked because he found he had a solution to a need. And that is the most important concept there of all 7 of these ideas. In every situation, you're providing a solution to something people need. This is why it's so important. You can't fall into the Disney mindset, not against Walt Disney, loved what he did, but the Disney movie mindset of follow your heart. Let me explain. I'm not against following your heart, okay? In other words, following your passion, your dream. But if it's too much all about you and what you like, and you're not asking what does the customer like, what do they want, then they're not going to pay you to do what you do. You have to find something that they legitimately want. I'm sitting in a condo I rent out. This condo itself makes me money because it's something people want. But I had to start with a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of work, and my wife and I had to think through how are we going to decorate it, how are we going to get it, what do we do? Like, there was so much to do. But all in our mind from the beginning, we had to think like this. What is it that people want? Well, people love to be in Austin. They love to stay in Austin. So why not provide a solution for that? You see what I mean? It had to be all about them, not all about me. Now, I say that with caution, because if it's completely all about them and not something you enjoy, you're going to be miserable and won't do as well. Try to find an industry you actually enjoy and like. But that's where it stops being about you, and it has to be about helping other people. And then their satisfaction, because it's no longer about money, I want money, 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 right? It's not like that. You're not Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank anymore. You actually enjoy it. You like it. And some days you make a lot, some days a little, but that's okay because it's the way of life you enjoy. You're providing something of value. You're building something, and there's a sense of satisfaction in that process. Hey, I hope this has been helpful to you guys. There are 10,000 other ways you can do this, but if you take the principle and meet a need, you can make money doing that, and you don't have to be dependent on a company and giving tons of your money through taxes to the government. There are ways to legally pay way less taxes to the government if you can qualify things as a business expense under the umbrella of a corporation. But I'm about to get on another topic, and I won't do that right now. So this is Seth Keeping It Real. Hope you're having an awesome day. It is cloudy outside, and it will probably rain again here in Austin, which is very odd for the month of August, but I am thanking God for that. Take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.